Hello everyone, this is Vrishali and welcome to the series of Power Electronics and Applications. This is our fourth unit in which we are going to see DC to AC converter, that is nothing but inverters. So we will discuss the different power converter types, then what is inverter, then its features, its classification, performance parameters of inverters, and finally its applications. So as we have studied AC to DC converter, that is rectifier, in our last unit, then the DC to AC converter is known as inverter, DC to DC is chopper, I am just revising it, and AC to AC is cycloconverter. So in this unit we are going to see how the DC power is converted to AC, that is the inverter operation. So as I said, the direct current or voltage is converted into alternating current or voltage is nothing but the inversion operation. So depending on the application, this conversion can be achieved by controlled turn on or off devices such as BJTs, MOSFET, IGBT, etc. And these type of converters are used in low or medium power outputs. Whereas by forced commutated thyristors, these type of inverters are used in high power outputs. The output voltage waveform of an ideal inverter should be sinusoidal, but practically it is non-sinusoidal and it contains certain harmonics. So for low or medium power application, square wave or quasi wave voltages are required, whereas for high power applications, low distorted sinusoidal waveforms are suitable. So the output frequency of an inverter is determined by the rate at which the semiconductor devices are switched on and off by the inverter control circuitry. The DC power input to the inverter may be a battery, fuel cells, solar cells or other DC sources. But generally for industrial applications, this input power or this DC input is fed by a rectifier. This configuration of AC to DC converter and DC to AC inverter is combinedly known as DC link converter, because it is a two-stage static frequency converter in which AC power at network frequency is rectified first and then it is filtered in the DC link before being inverted to the AC at an adjustable frequency. So now we will see classification of inverters. So basically inverters can be classified on the basis of three factors. The first one is according to the nature of input source. The second one is how the wave shape of the output voltage is. And the third is thyristor inverter. So if we see according to the nature of input source, inverters can be classified as VSI and CSI. What is VSI, CSI? The VSI stands for voltage source inverters, whereas CSI stands for current source inverters. So in case of VSI, the input inverter is provided by a ripple free DC voltage source. But in case of CSI, the voltage source is first converted into a current source and then it is used to supply the power to the inverter. Now we will see classification according to the wave shape of output voltage. There are three types: a square wave inverter, a quasi-square wave inverter, and a pulse width modulated inverters. So this square wave inverter produces a square wave AC voltage of a constant magnitude. These type of inverters are used for a low or medium power applications. The second type, that is a quasi-square wave inverter. So as we have seen before, a sinusoidal voltage or a sine wave output voltage is ideal for many high power applications. So this can be achieved by two methods, either by using filter circuit on the output side of inverter or using this method PWM, that is pulse width modulation, which uses a switching scheme within the inverter to modify the shape of output voltage waveform. And the third one, that is a thyristor inverter, this can be classified by following categories. First, method of commutation. It may be a line commutated inverters in which AC line voltage is available across the device and this process is also known as natural commutation process. So when the current in the SCR goes through a natural zero, the device is turned off by this natural commutation process, and the inverters based on these principles are known as line commutated inverters, whereas the another type is forced commutated inverters. In case of DC circuits, since the supply voltage does not go through the zero point, some external source is required to commutate the device. So this process is known as forced commutation process, and the inverters based on these principle is known as forced commutation inverters. And another method is by connection. So if the inverters are connected in series or parallel or bridge network, they are classified by the method in which they are connected. So this is all about the classification of inverters. Now we will see performance parameters. Ideally, an inverter should give sinusoidal voltage at its output, but practically it is a non-sinusoidal and it may be resolved into fundamental or harmonic component. The performance of an inverter is usually evaluated in terms of certain parameters. So these parameters are to measure a quality of inverter output voltage. So the first one is harmonic factor of nth harmonic. The second is total harmonic distortion, that is also known as THD. The third is distortion factor DF, and the last is lowest order harmonics, that is LOH. So these four factors measure the quality of inverter output voltage are known as performance parameters. So we will see the definition of all four one by one. The first one, that is a harmonic factor of a nth harmonic. So this is a measure of individual harmonic contribution in the output voltage of an inverter. This harmonic factor of nth harmonic or HF can be defined as the ratio of the RMS voltage of a particular harmonic component to the RMS value of fundamental component. So it is given by this expression, HF is equal to EN_RMS upon E1 RMS, where EN_RMS is the RMS voltage of a particular, that is the nth harmonic component, and E1 RMS is the RMS value of fundamental component. So ratio of both is nothing but the harmonic factor. The next is total harmonic distortion, that is THD. So it is a measure of closeness in the shape between the output voltage waveform and its fundamental component. So this THD can be defined as the ratio of RMS value of the total harmonic components of the output voltage to the RMS value of the fundamental component. So it is given by this expression, square root of summation of EN_RMS square upon its fundamental component, that is E1 RMS, which is also given as square root of E0 RMS square minus E1 square upon E1. Then the third is distortion factor, that is a DF. This indicates the amount of harmonics that remain in the output voltage waveform after the waveform has been subjected to the second order attenuation. So it is given by this expression, where distortion factor is given as under root summation of EN_RMS upon n square whole bracket square upon the fundamental component E1 RMS. And the last factor is lowest order harmonic, that is LOH. This is the lowest frequency harmonic with the magnitude greater than or equal to 3% of magnitude of a fundamental component of a output voltage. So higher the frequency of LOH, lower will be the distortion in the current waveform. So this is all about the performance parameters. Now we will see different application of inverter. So let's have a look. Inverters can be used in a variable speed AC motor drives as well as UPS systems, that is uninterruptible power supplies. Inverter can also be used in a battery vehicle drives and aircraft power supplies. It can also be used in high voltage DC transmission lines as shown over here. So basically there are various industrial applications where these inverters are used. So along with this, The induction heating or regulated voltage or frequency power supplies, then variable speed AC motor drives, etc., are the application of inverters. So this is all about the introduction to inverter. In our next video, we are going to see the circuit diagram of a single phase or three phase inverter and their operations. So thank you, stay home, stay safe, and happy e-learning.